Welcome to the Elements of Spirit readings for the week of May 29th, 2017. These are free weekly readings through the classical elements of earth, air, water, fire, and ether, brought to you by ediblespirit.com, and I, your host, Michael Domitrovich. These readings come through the elements, so they are designed to help you work with the elemental energies in your life of earth, air, water, and fire. And the way it works is you listen to this reading first, which is the ether reading, which sort of describes the space within which all of the other elements are vibing and doing their thing. And then you find your sun sign in the description below this reading and the element that's associated with it, and you listen to that reading and combine it with this, the ether reading, and you get a sense of kind of how to work with your dominant elemental energy, personality type, that which expresses itself most easily through you. But I also include affirmations with each of these readings so that you have something in your back pocket so that you can affirm something for the space of the week, but then also affirm your own particular inflection on whatever that initial ether message is. So if you've been following, you got the hang of it. For all of you who this is your first time, welcome. I'm very happy to have you here. I love doing these readings. Let's see what comes through the ether. Well, I like this message for the ether. There are hands coming out of the darkness, hands holding you holding hands. I mean, it's been getting pretty crazy in this world, but it feels like, and you guys know I always keep it really up and bright and positive whenever possible, because I believe that all is love and all trends towards love ultimately. But this week, it feels like it's going to hurt. For all of us, it just feels like there's some really big ouchies coming down the pike this week. And, we hear a lot being bandied about in this new age arena, the term self-care. And this is different. This is comfort. This is just about comfort. And this sense that comfort is being offered internally at all times. Oh, pink, rose quartz, high heart. You guys, if you've been following me, I'm like a New York reader because I've lived here for most of my life and at least for the last 5 years. But, I got a big healthy dose of Angelino, rose quartz, deliciousness in me. And this is what we're talking about. We're really feeling the California spiritual vibes this week, where what's coming through the ether is this message of I'm going to give you the California message in a New York way, which is comfort is being offered internally at all times. Pink, rose quartz, has to do with unconditional spiritual love as opposed to the color green or jade, which is more traditionally associated with the heart and kind of human love, trust, exchange, big forces, big ideas. But the idea of the heart and the color green, to me, always implies an exchange. And the mystery of the heart and the learning of the heart is in this kind of even exchange, where you're like, I love you, and I love you so much I don't have to think about you loving me because there's such a trust and such a symbiosis here. I love myself, and I don't even have to think about loving myself because I'm always giving back to myself. It's always a lovely exchange. But it's sort of this dynamic back and forth cycle of love, learning about love through cycles of love. This week, you guys, and then we can talk about self-care in that respect, because you do the best you can, you make your choices, you live your life, and you try to do so being as loving as possible and loving others as much as possible. And and yet the pink energy, the unconditional love energy, and then I'll go back to the self-care versus comfort thing. The unconditional love is I associate it with the high heart, which, as opposed to a back and forth exchange of love, it's a one-directional exchange of love. It's like a fire hose of love coming from the invisible planes, just coming right at you, showering you down, facing you down, bearing down on you. The idea is that this unconditional spiritual love is so unconditional, it's not a matter of whether it's coming at you or not. It's a matter of are you allowing it in? Is it impossible all the time? It may feel that way, but I always think of really extreme situations. Someone who's in prison for life is going to be dealing with a lot of stuff, but there is still a frequency of love in confinement that can lead to liberation. So in whatever confining structure you may find yourself in this week, a lot of people that I know have been feeling really trapped in their minds and trapped by these ideas of who they used to be and who they aren't anymore and who they are now and what to do about all of this. And it's this like cognitive prison that's very harsh and very uncomfortable because they can find no relief. And the idea here that's coming from this message is that this relief is always there, it's always happening, it's always internal. And the way to find it is to stop resisting it, right? And is to look for even a moment of relief in the middle of all of the perceived pain and insanity. It's a big deal. One moment of relief in the middle of all of the chaos is incredibly liberating. And so the idea here is that you might not find it in the world around you this week. You might only find it in you. And then we go back to self-care. So self-care is this kind of maintenance of the heart. Am I loving myself? Am I working on myself? Where am I losing energy? Where do I deserve to have more energy? Because I'm losing this. I'm maybe even wasting it on an exchange, on a heart-based exchange, which is unfair and imbalanced. And so in order to correct that unfair imbalance, I'm giving. Maybe I get to stop giving or stop giving it away and start giving some of that love to myself, right? But again, that's not where we are right now. That's self-care, that's heart chakra, it just feels like a chore to me right now. Everything I just said feels like a big fucking chore, okay? That's not what we're dealing with. We're dealing with, if there is this fire hose of unconditional love frequency that is just waiting, begging to have you take your hands down so it can blast you in the face. It's designed to make you give in and say, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm not a piece of shit. Maybe this prison maybe my life isn't going to end in this prison of my mind. Maybe there is a solution out of this, but maybe not. Maybe all I can hope for right now is a moment of peace that I find through this inner comfort, which is always there, through this comforting, internal, unconditional love, which is always there. Comfort versus self-care. Comfort just feels fucking great. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I feel like some fire coming this week through the ether. That's like, hey, radical comfort. Why are you supposed to not feel good this week? Why? I don't know why. Why are you not supposed to feel comfortable this week? Why is it about the chore of self-care and, working, loving yourself more? Maybe you're fucking done with loving yourself more this week. Maybe you just hurt. And the idea is don't just hurt. Stop resisting the total, radical, internal acceptance of yourself. It's there, somewhere, even briefly, even a drop, even for a moment. And that one drop can shift your entire vibration away from I am uncomfortable to I feel comfort that comes from inside, that is not dependent on anything or anyone else, that if I'm really honest about it, is one drop of comfort that leads to a never-ending well of unconditional love that can always provide comfort, right? Another way of saying this is we spend a lot of time trying to live this amazing life, this great life where we have it all and everything's in balance and it's all working. What about aspiring to 5 minutes of just feeling okay today? We're just nothing's wrong. It really is that simple, this frequency, this idea of comfort. Why does it have to be such a chore? Why does it have to be my obligation and responsibility to take care of myself. Why can't I just feel good this week? Asking a lot of questions too. So let's just see what else this has to say. These hands of love want to come out from within you and hold you close and stroke your hair. Okay, great. Wow. So again, you guys, it's like I can make sense of this reading while it's happening. But I'm a channel first. That's like, the more I think about it, that's what I'm really working with. And so many of you guys in your comments and the emails you've sent me about this series makes me feel great because you get it. You see what's going on here. I don't purport to be plugged in some way that you're not or that anyone isn't. I just have chosen a direction to look in at the ether, the earth, the air, the water, the fire, to bring you some insight into how to work with this crazy cluster of everything we're all going through all the time, every day. Okay, so I'm literally just turning to that place, seeing what I can get, and offering it to you in service. So when something like this comes through, it feels wonderful because I need this too. So here's your affirmation for the week. I allow my unconditional love of self, capital S, small s, capital S, doesn't fucking matter, same self, different distinction. I allow my unconditional love of self to comfort and support me. I affirm the existence and validity of this internal fountain of acceptance. Unconditional. Love no matter what. Love, you immediately deserve to accept and receive this love. And don't fucking go to anyone else for it. Get it from your own supply. Dip into your own stash. If you acknowledge that it's there repeatedly, you will go deeper and there will be more. Don't believe me, try. If it doesn't work, I'm sorry, but it's there. I'm saying we're aggressively channeling comfort this week. Be ballsy about it. Get your good. Feel great about it. Don't worry. The support is there. It's inside of you. I allow my unconditional love of self to comfort and support me. I affirm the existence and validity of this internal fountain of acceptance. Sounds pretty good to me. Thank you. Tune in for the rest of the readings, and I'll see you next week. Bye.